Welcome everyone to ImaginativeVisions.com. Justin here. This is Across the Pond where we review movies, books, theater, TV, streaming shows, things of entertainment from our friends over there in the UK across the pond. And today we are going to be talking about Saturday Night Live UK, which I did finally get to finish the first series. And I had to say, spoiler alert, it's spoiler of what my thoughts are. It's up to a very, very promising start. You know, when I first heard about Saturday Night Live UK, I had some reservations because I was excited, but I was also concerned that this would just kind of be a copy and paste of Saturday Night Live of what we do over here in the States. And for the beginning, I kind of felt that vibe when I saw that they were doing a weekend update. I was like, oh, it's just going to be a copy and paste. But as the series progressed, and it started to really find its own voice, its own footing, and most importantly, its own brand of humor. And let's talk a little bit about that. You know, after watching the entire first series, I think SNL UK has a surprisingly promising start. It's definitely still has some figuring out to do. Some of the sketches work much better than others, but that's comedy. That's live action. That's SNL for the most part. And comedy is subjective, and certain cast members get more opportunities to shine, and there are moments where you can still feel the American version sitting in the background. But when SNL UK stops worrying about being SNL and just embraces the strangest side of British comedy, that's when the show really finds its footing, and that's when it really lands and works. And the biggest success of series one is definitely the cast. And forgive me for botching names. You know my stutter. If those are new to the channel, sometimes I slur, sometimes I stutter, and it might kick in, especially when I'm saying names. So forgive me ahead of time. Do not kill me. So we have Hamed Amishan, you have Anawabe Amawabe Bomboe, you have Larry Dean, Celeste Dring, you have George Fouracres, Anya Magliano, Annabelle Marlowe, Al Nash, Jack Shep, Emma Seedy, and Patty Young make up the 11-person ensemble. And you have you have Anya and you have Young handling the weekend update. And you know, with 11 performers, it was probably inevitable that some will stand out more than others during the first 8 episodes. But I have to admit, this cast, regardless, they're all when they're on screen and they have things to do, they all shine. They all stand out, and you start to understand what different members of the cast bring to each sketch. George Fouracres became one of my favorites pretty quickly. He has this strange energy when you never quite know what direction a performance is going to take. Even the way he delivers a line or looks at another character can become part of the joke. And the recurring 45 seconds of Four Acre segments were a perfect showcase for him because they were quick, weird, and completely committed to whatever ridiculous idea he was doing that week. And Hamid also became one of my favorite performers, especially with one of my favorite sketches, which I'll talk about like standout sketches. Boovies Goes to the films is such an example. A lot of these sketches are on YouTube, so I'll put the link in the description so you can see some of my favorite sketches. And Emma City as well, and even like Anya and Patty Young for Weekend Update. Like the whole cast is just they all do good. And of course, it wouldn't be SNL without hosts. Having Tina Fey for episode one launching the first episode makes sense because she understands SNL better than almost anyone. So for her to be the one to give it the cosign, to really give it that feel, not only just gives it credibility, but it's also saying, okay, here's a very big person that really knows SNL alumni. Here's somebody that knows what this whole brand's about, and we're going to bring them to the forefront. And then after that, we are going to let them do their own thing. And that's exactly what it does. Jamie Dornan does a great job as a host as well, especially one of my other favorite sketches, which is Hostage, which once again we're going to talk about it. But you also had Riz Ahmed, you had Amy Lou Wood. Like there were so many hosts for these first episodes. These first 8 episodes, I thought was just really, really well done. Now let's talk about my favorites. We have to talk about some of my favorite sketches from SNL UK Series 1 because there are a few standouts that I was really laughing my ass off. First, let's talk about Boovies Goes to Film because I did allude to that one first. And this was hilarious because this, as someone who is considered press, who gets media access here and has done press junkets, who have done the red carpets, who still does all that here, I laughed my ass off because this was something that was just jaw dropping because I could not imagine in a million years someone would do this at a press junket. And just be this just to give you some insight, there's some etiquette when it comes to interviews and things you do. You know, like for me, I have certain things like I don't do. Like I've seen other people do this in press junkets. I don't do it. One, I don't ask about any other projects because for me, that just tells me you're trying to get a scoop or the actor's not there to talk about, truthfully, they're not really there to talk about another project when they're promoting something else. Honestly, I find that not really tasteful. And also acting out personalized, I don't do that. And another thing that you don't do is what he does here. And I was like, oh my God, could you imagine? And what he does, like all this is gonna be spoiler free. What he does, I was just like, they will never allow that PR company would never allow him back to do any press junket if he did this. And I thought I was just laughing my ass off with that. So kudos to SNL UK for that one. Another one that I really did enjoy was Hostage, and this one was with the host Jamie Dornan, and he plays a kidnapper trying to record a ransom video, only for the hostage situation to become something much more different. And I love where they had this go in the direction and went. It's kind of a reverse of something. And when you see it, and by the way, I'm gonna leave all the links to my favorite sketches because it's on the SNL UK's official page. So I'm gonna leave the links in the description so you can see them for yourselves. And this one made me laugh too because this was another one where I wasn't really expecting it to go where it was going to go. The Italian plumber and princess problem was another one, but this one felt more like something SNL US would do because it plays with Super Mario, the pop cultures. We've seen SNL use Mario a lot recently as well. Pedro Pascal at one point played Mario. So Mario is heavily on SNL from time to time. But this one takes Mario and Princess Peach and puts them in a regular setting. They're lovers, they're living together, and they're dealing with relationship issues. They had a couple of chuckles here and there, but what made it funny is the fact if you're a fan of Mario, if you're a fan of these characters, you're seeing how they will play out. And George Fouracres and Amy Lou Wood did a excellent job of playing Peach and Mario respectively. And then we also had another one of my favorites, Operation, that was played by the cast and guest host of that particular episode, Riz Ahmed. And this one had me dying laughing because it's about a guy who's at a party, his family, they're throwing a party and for their friends, and Operation comes. Everybody's playing the game Operations, and Riz's character cannot get it done. He just keeps losing, and it becomes a obsession, a real obsession. And just the whole sketch has this running joke with this obsession, and I thought it was delivered very well. I laughed my butt off with this one because I can actually see someone actually going that far. And of course, 40 Seconds with 4 Acres, I thought was really good as well. And they also the weekend update. Now, this is something that I feel can go. As much as I love SNL's weekend update over here in the States, I felt that the British weekend update, I don't want them to have this mainly because I feel like the weekend update is such an established over here that I want them to have something different than just taking something from SNL US and just putting a UK spin on it. I want them to try to avoid that at all costs and just come up with their own. But don't get it twisted. Their weekend update was funny too. I couldn't laugh as much with this particular one because I'm not familiar with British politics and British pop culture references. So there's a lot of stuff that went over my head, truthfully. But had I known, I had a lot more information, being less ignorant on things with that, I would probably been laughing my ass off with this. But I guarantee you, UK fans and people who are familiar with British humor and British type of style of humor are going to get a kick out of this. But for me, Weekend Update didn't really land, and that's mainly on me because I'm not truly familiar with British humor and British politics and British pop culture that's going on at that moment yet. Put a pin on that. Soon, you'll definitely see me being well more versed when it comes to that. But I still feel like SNL UK, as funny as it was, it still needs to find its identity. And I think that series one was a little bit of a growing pains. It's still great, but I felt like now I feel like they know what works, which actor, which performer delivers what sketches and things like that. And I feel like if we get more sketches like hostage, operations, and certain there's other things that actually have pure British humor. I think if they keep doing that and adding more flair to it and start slowly stepping away from the shadows of American SNL, that this is going to have a long standing run. So I want to bring up my remote rating right now, and I'm going to give this one a must watch. This one is pretty damn good. I had a hell of a time. This was fun. Every episode is worth watching. Like I said, comedy is subjective. So it's going to be hit or miss with certain people. Not everything is going to land with you, but I felt that this one, it landed with me. A lot of it also has a lot of British humor. So if you're not really familiar with it, you might not laugh because you don't get the joke. But once you become more versed, like I'm becoming more versed, I guarantee you probably series two, I'm gonna be laughing my ass off. So far, SNL UK off to a promising start. I highly recommend it. I think it's on Peacock, and you can catch a lot of it on their official YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description just in case you want to see the sketches that I'm talking about. And that's pretty much it, folks. This is Justin from across the pond. Quick shameless plug. If you love wrestling, if you love play wrestling games, especially WWE 2K, we have our own universe mode with our own original cars, our own original characters called the UWL. You can go to UWL 2K. You can check out our we just launched our own developmental type of show. We, of course, have our Raw, it's type of SmackDown, Saturday Night Slam, and Uprising. So definitely check those out over on the channel. And last shameless plug, my first novel, my first novel ever, debut novel, Where Light Remains, is now available on Kindle and print on Amazon.com. I am currently working on getting it on Apple stores, Barnes and Nobles, and various other outlets, and also working on international releases in their stores as well. So hopefully we'll have everything available everywhere come October. So stay tuned for that. I'll be keeping everyone posted on that. And that's it, my friends. I'll catch you later for more videos here at imaginativevisions.com. And you can watch more stuff here. Like, share, subscribe. Later days.